Radio अपना फ्रैंकफर्ट दिल से देता है.
Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to our live talk at Indo-German Films. It's a great honor to us to have Prakash Jha today with us, the actor, producer, and director. Hello, Prakash. You're live from Mumbai.
It's wonderful being with you and interacting with friends in Germany. Wonderful. Thank you very much, Stephen.
Thank you so much, Prakash Ji. We just found out to let it know the audience that you have been to Düsseldorf, and you have lived in Düsseldorf for 2 years. That's really great news because this is my hometown. And please also give a warm welcome to Raman Deep Jaswal. He is here live from Frankfurt from our partner Radio Abner Frankfurt. Hello, Raman.
Hi, Stefan. Hi, thank you. And thank you, Prakash Ji, for joining in the talk today. And it's a pleasure on my side that I'm being part of this call. Thank you very much, sir.
It's wonderful talking to you, Raman.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
And just a little spoiler in the beginning. So the reason we do this talk is not just that Prakash Jha is one of the best-known, well-known actors, producers, directors from Bollywood. There's another big reason because Pariksha will be our opening film at Indo-German Film Week on 24th of September. And we will also talk about the film and about Prakash Jha's work. And I would like to request Raman to start with the first question.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Stefan. Here. Now, a little bit of introduction. I know, Prakash Ji, you don't need an introduction, but just a customary thing to introduce you. Well, we have today with us Mr. Prakash Jha, a very well-known name in the world of Bollywood. Mr. Jha was born on February 27, 1952 in Patna, Bihar. He's an actor, a well-known director and a producer. He's known for his movies like Ganga Jal, Apharan, Mrityudan, and many more. I mean, big names in there. Mr. Jha was raised on his family's farm in Champaran in Bihar. Mr. Jha has studied physics at Delhi University until he decided to work on the family farm in 1970. And then he moved in 1972 to Pune to study at the Film and Television Institute of India and has been making films independently since 1974. Mr. Jha has won 8 national awards, many Filmfare awards and Star Screen awards, and on top of that, many more international awards as well. So Prakash sir, it's an honor for me to have this interview with you. With this, I would like to jump to the first question. I read that while you were preparing for JJ School of Arts, you had witnessed the shooting of the film Dharma, and that got you hooked onto filmmaking. Would you like to share with us what happened back then? What was that thing that got you hooked onto filmmaking?
Well, it was magic. It really was magic because I knew somebody who was a production designer, and I just latched on to him one Sunday morning as he was going to a film set. And I saw trolleys being laid out, costumes being taken around, lights being, fixed, and actors coming and rehearsing. And, the whole ambience and the atmosphere completely kind of mesmerized me. I was kind of completely intoxicated with this whole thing. And by the end of the evening, I decided this is exactly what I want to do.
Wow, I think that's lucky for us because we got to see so many great movies because of this incident happening. So yeah, I think it's really wonderful to hear that. Prakash sir, I mean, you are known for your movies that highlight some key real life driven questions that brings to life some key aspects that need attention from all of us. And we can see that in all movies, I mean, including Ganga Jal, Apharan, Arakshan, even Pariksha. Now, key question to you. Is it the art of filmmaking that drives you? Or is it the real life scenarios that motivate you to make this film? What is the core motivation behind this?
The core motivation actually is story. I like to kind of fish stories about things which are happening, incidents which are happening, the way the society moves because one particular action of the government or people or religion or anything. And when several of these incidents, have some kind of resonance and they are synonymous in nature, they, they turn into a query for me, and I begin to look for the equation as to why something is happening the way it is happening. And then the characters emerge, and then the dialogues emerge, and then the scenes emerge. And then it does take me a lot of time, sometimes 2, 3, 4 years to finally find the story. But then when I find the story, I love to share it as a movie, as my dialogue with the audience. My dialogue with the audience is the movie.
Yeah. No, I mean it feels like when you're explaining it, it comes from your heart. So you're understanding it, and then the whole concept comes from your understanding out of it. Is that correct?
Yes, I try to understand, and when it becomes clear to me, I share it. I share it in the form of a story.
Yeah.
Because movies are stories which need to engage, because it's just like the grandmother telling the little child a story so that she can put the child to sleep. I must tell the story to the audience so that they're awake and they're sitting and they're listening and they're watching and they're engaged with the characters, the incidents, the drama. And if they can take something away, that's the bonus I die for.
Yeah. And I think your movies definitely have that element that we take something away from there. With that, I give to Stefan. Stefan, please.
Yeah, and definitely that is something which me moved when I saw Pariksha for considering it for Indo-German Film Week. So first I saw the movie, I thought, okay, that is a perfect opening film because it's so heartwarming. Adil Hussain is really so perfectly his play as an actor, and your direction as a director is also perfect. But coming later to those parts, those aspects of the movie, can you tell us? So what was the beginning? So it's a real story, also same, correct?
You're right, Stephen.
Mm-hmm.
The idea of this story has been there with me for a very, very long time, because as a child, when I had just begun going to school, I used to be loaded in a rickshaw like that, along with 10 other kids, and we used to be taken to this school. And much later, when I used to see this happening, and when I became a filmmaker, I used to see this happening, I used to always wonder what happens to the child of the rickshawala. He is taking everybody's children, affluent families, well-to-do families, to the English school or the convent. What happens to his child? And then much later, I met this, the cop, the chief cop from Bihar state, Abhayanand. And Abhayanandji told me his story of how he used to go after those criminals, Naxalites in their villages. And they, of course, would not be there, but he used to meet their children. And he used to start a conversation with the children. He used to get very impressed with their native intelligence. And that inspired him to start teaching them, coaching them, and even helping them get to very good institutions, engineering institutions, medical institutions. And that kind of triggered in my mind that, even if, someone is, is a criminal, is something, uses unfair means, or, it is not right in the eyes of the society, the child can still get the opportunity and can still kind of be there as, education is the
Prakash,
we have so much
we have some technical problems.
so much class difference, so much disparity amongst the sections of the society. It's education which actually kind of gives a level playing field. You can, you can.
Prakash ji, we lost you, so there's no sound, no picture from your side. I will try to keep on a little bit. Hopefully you'll come back in a second. Because my next question is,
Can you?
yeah, sound is back. Okay, now you're back. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. No, yeah, my next question is keeping that in mind. So, what we may also have to explain the audience. The film is about a rickshaw driver, as you told us just about. But he's in the beginning of the film, he's an honest man, and but he goes deeper into it because he has the big wish of bringing his son to such a private school to give him better opportunities in life. And so this is very well done by Adil Hussain. So what were the key point for for developing the story in that kind of the direction?
Well, I mean, in Bihar, in my home state, or in Bengal, or in UP, a father or a parent will go to any extent. They will sell themselves. They will sell their house. They will sell their jewelry. They will pawn themselves. They will go to any extent to be able to give good education to their children. That is the motivation which propelled me to make this story, and and have the story of the rickshawala who is dying, aspiring to have his own child in the school where he brings children every single day.
Yeah.
And once he gets the opportunity somehow to keep his child there, to maintain it, to sustain the expenses, he will go to any extent, to the level that he is going to destroy himself. He'll probably destroy his whole family. That's what the story is.
Yeah.
And how did you approach together with Adil as your actor to work out the character? Because it's so precisely that I know Adil Hussain personally. I have seen him in so many films, but there's no second in the movie where I doubt that he's a rickshaw driver. So it's so well done. So how did you work it out? That's so perfectly done.
Stephen, we are actors. We do that all the time.
Yeah, but you must have done some research, or what did Adil work as a rickshaw puller for a week or what?
Well, he practiced. Yeah. That is one thing. But to get into the character, to find that character, to be him, Bucci Paswan, who the character that he's playing, he has a process. Every actor has a process to find the character he's playing. He did it very well, and he is, he is believable. He's convincing. He's easy with the character, and you don't think of his physicality or his process when because you get immersed in his mind, which is like driven to educate his child. That's the whole idea, and that's what a good actor will do.
Yeah,
Rama, yeah, it's perfectly done. That's what I can say.
I agree there, Stefan. I mean, you see that when that passion is there for his kid that he has, the definition of the right and wrong actually blurs somewhere away. And that's where, as an audience, you start questioning, well, what is right and what is wrong? There is nothing as such as right or wrong. He's driven by that passion. And even if he's doing wrong thing, its perspective is that he's right. I mean, having said that, sir, this movie where Adil Hussain has played this part, how did this, I mean, the motivation behind this movie, how it came out? You said that you had studied this character earlier by looking at some of the rickshawalas. Is there real person behind it? Is this a real story, or is this something which is partly real and partly it is coming from your ideas?
It's inspired from real rickshawalas. It's inspired from the experience of the Director General of Police, ex-Director General of Police from Bihar, who told me the story about him going to Naxal villages in Jahanabad and not finding the Naxalites, but finding their children and have sort of like, starting a conversation with them. It's also inspired from the motivation which every single parent from that kind of society aspires as far as the children are concerned. So all these stories are very real. So when I constructed this story of the rickshawala and the school and the relationship of his child and his aspirations and the drama as to what extent he can go and the way he would eventually almost destroy the future and the family, but of course the child takes over and the child goes through, and the child understands that there is no father better than my father. That's
Exactly.
what it is.
And I think at the end, you see that smile on Adil Hussein's face, which shows like it doesn't matter what has happened to him. The success of his child was something that he wanted to achieve. And I mean, that emotion itself communicates a lot. Having said that, sir, let's move on towards the release of the movie. I mean, we have heard in some of our earlier interviews that there were films that were made for big screen, but due to COVID-19, the plans had to be delayed or had to be changed, or even in some cases, they had to be cancelled. We know that Pariksha has also now released on the OTT platform on Z5 in August 2020. Are you satisfied with the release on OTT platform, or are you still looking for a theatrical release post COVID-19 for this movie?
Well, we have the theatrical release option open, and if I find a distribution channel anywhere in the world open for a theatrical release, I will definitely do that, because most of the countries don't have Z5, so they still have an opportunity to see this film. It's an hour 55-minute films, which makes it completely good for theatrical release. But at the same time, I'm happy that at least the film was released on Z5 and audience in India were able to see it. And my God, like the kind of appreciation we got on Z5 and the way people reacted, they continue to react. Just before I came to your interview, I was just looking into the social media and Twitters and things like that, and people are still kind of like, writing about it in general and praising Adil's work, praising the film and every other actor. So it's very satisfying that, at least one part of the communication is complete. But yes, I make movies for cinema, and I would love to have people coming to cinema and being glued to my story and watch the story and the film and take that experience back. So we still have to see as to how this whole process of OTT release and cinema release, because unless and until both run simultaneously, I don't think we can make any judgment about it. But I'm happy. I'm happy that it was released. And I'm looking for a distributor in Germany. Is there anyone there?
We will watch out. We will invite some of them for the opening of Indo-German Film Week, definitely. And then let's see. So actually there's one I talked about. He was interested also in Lipstick Under My Burqa, which was also a big hit here.
You can do a double bill, like, you buy one ticket, you see both.
Definitely. Well, Lipstick Under My Burqa, we had 4 packed screenings here at Indo-German Film Week. I think it was 2 years ago, wasn't it? Yeah. And this was really a big success. That was also after we had the movie in Berlin. I came to Mumbai, and you invited me to your office, which was very nice meeting. I remember that. And yeah, so maybe this is a good bridge to your work in general. So Raman has already said that. So most of I would go a step further than Raman did. I would say most of the films you do have a social impact. That's something also my heart goes. As a filmmaker myself, I also know that you never may do the mistake. There's always an emotional story, and then you can have this social story in it. Yeah? But it's always for me also so heartwarming if we can do both, you know, if we can transport with our stories something which is has a social impact. So Prakash, what is next? So how many other social impact stories you have in your pocket?
As long as the society lives in, as long as it breathes, as long as there is change happening around, as long as there is disparity, as long as there is injustice, and as long as there are voices, I will have my stories all around.
But Raman, you also have a question for his for the series Prakash is doing. Please go on with that one.
Yeah. Now, before that, I'll ask one question related to Pariksha. Well, International Film Festival of India in 2019, this movie was screened there as a release there. Exactly. So how was the reaction there? I'm really interested in knowing how people reacted in India when they watched this movie for the first time.
They cry a lot. When they see the film, they cry a lot.
Yeah.
They were crying in Goa. We had a screening in Delhi. They were crying there. And even seeing on their phone, I've seen people crying.
Yes.
So they get emotionally touched by the characters, the son, the mother, the father, everybody.
Yes, I think that's an element of love and the element of a relationship from a father's point of view. I mean, it's amazing the way it has been portrayed, and it's a movie, as I said, I would recommend to anyone.
Yeah, Raman, and it's also the tragedy, you know, because as I said before, Adil is playing a character. He's in the beginning of he's an honest man, but he wants to do so much, as we said before, to give his son this opportunity. You know, and I would like to also to add one thing, so that the invitation is there that Prakash Jha will come to Germany for the opening. The big problem is right now COVID and Corona situation, so we didn't get a feedback from the authority far now, but we keep you posted, and hopefully it will work out that he can be personally in Berlin, which will be really a big thing. Let's see how it works out.
You can tell the German government that I have the vaccine to COVID.
Okay, that's what we do.
Yeah, for sure. Right. Okay, so let's move on to the latest web series, Ashram. Yeah, that's a web series which is available on the OTT platform MX Player. The web series is produced and directed by you, Prakash sir. Lead role is played by Bobby Deol in there. So what can we look forward to when we watch this web series?
Well, it is, you know, it is the story of the fake godmen, the kind of the crooked, criminal-minded quacks of religion, the people who bring disrepute to this great Hindu religion and its spiritual kind of like, you know, treasure that we have, the great gurus and the great seekers that we have. These petty thieves and quacks and people who impersonate as Babas, they use and exploit and abuse the faith of common, you know, innocent people. So this is a business which goes on, and how exactly that happens and what, you know, how the mechanism works. So it's a bit kind of like, you know, you can say social thriller, which is how it works. So the Bobby plays a very dark character, Baba's character, and I have a bunch of excellent actors like Chandan Roy Sanyal or Aditi Pohankar or you know, Darshan Kumar and Pridha Chaudhary and a whole lot of them. And I'm so happy because it's the series, in just 2 weeks of its release, exactly 2 weeks today, the viewership has crossed 200 million.
Wow.
Wow.
So what is the population of Germany?
The population of Germany is 80 million. So the population of Europe and America is about 350 million or so. So,
So
400 something million is the population of all of Europe.
we will reach there. We will reach somewhere there. Don't worry.
Yeah. So Prakash, what can we do to get this series that we can watch it here in Germany also? Because MX Player, we cannot watch it. I tried, I brought the MX Player app from India here to Germany when I visited Mumbai the last time. But unfortunately, nothing happens. You can't play it here, so it doesn't work here.
Well, the only way is you get me there. I'll play it for you.
Okay. we can have a cinema release here of the series. Why not?
Yeah, why not? It's like movie. I mean, it's shot like movie. It's big. It's grand. I had almost 1,000 kind of people working on the set every single day.
How many episodes does it have?
Well, we have 18 episodes ready. 18, which translates into almost like 12 hours.
Oh.
12 hours of material, yeah.
Yeah.
So let me think. 12 hours. That's like 4 evenings or so, or 4-day screening. every day with 3 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? So that's something we should do when you come over. If you can't come over this time to the 24th, then definitely it's the next goal we have. Then you come, for example, for Berlinale or some other event, and then we make a special screening just with the 12 hours of this series at Babylon.
Yeah, sure.
No, I've seen the trailer of Ashram, and it sounds, or it looks really grand, as you said. I mean, it's the scale of a movie. So, question there to you, Prakashji, was it shot during COVID times or was it shot before COVID times?
We finished shooting Ashram on the 7th of February.
Okay.
Just before the lockdown began, the talk of lockdown began. We just finished it on 7th of February. We were out of the shooting place, around the 8th, 9th, 10th. We all left the place. We came to Mumbai, and in a week's time, we were all locked down.
So was it, originally planned as a web series, or was it shot as a movie and then?
No. It was planned. I didn't know. This was the first time, but the scale of the story demanded that sort of look, that sort of location, setting. We had worked a lot, like about 6 months pre-production, and then we went shooting. We shot for 4 months.
Yeah. And it reflects in that trailer as well. And I'm looking forward to getting access to this in Germany. Yeah, or when you are here, we watch it together maybe. And then really looking forward to experiencing it. Stefan?
So what next? We also tried to get Adil here. I think he's shooting in England somewhere, Glasgow also, correct? But I haven't heard of him, so we also keep an eye on that. But Raman, I think you have a better next question than I have.
Yeah, one question that I have is, Prakash, a lot of fans of you in Germany, around the world, always looking forward to something coming from your side, because it always has a special message in there, right? And the way it is communicated, that's marvelous. So any new projects that you are working on, about which you can tell us what we can look forward to?
Well, several things. I've already completed one film which is ready, which is kind of done, in which I'm playing the lead actor. And, it's directed by a debutant director, first-time director. It's a beautiful story. There's an embargo. I can't reveal the name, but a major film festival has already invited it. It's happening next month, and then the festival circuit will begin. but that film is ready. And then there is the second season of Ashram, which will be shooting early next year. And then there are 2 feature films, one being produced by Disha, who is my daughter, and another one which is again our own production. So there is a lot happening, and during this whole period of COVID, we have been writing and we have been preparing for these films.
So how do you manage, Prakash? And so I can't believe that you're so productive. You know, like I guess you work 24 hours, 7 days a week, or?
No, I don't. I work maximum 12 hours. That's it, which includes my waking up and my kind of like, my other things. And I never shoot more than 10 hours, never. And but we do regularly keep on working, which is productive. And I do kind of assign work to people around me, so everything keeps on moving. So it's not, and for me, every film that I do, every project I do is like my first film, so I'm excited about it. Every single day of shoot is like my first day of shoot, so I'm very excited about working. So I enjoy working, Stephen. That's it. I love it.
So then we have to think about something doing together, maybe which connects to Germany. Let's talk about that when you come over.
Always ready to do it. Always ready.
Okay, Raman, you have one more question, because otherwise we can also come to an end slowly.
No, I think one thing that came to my mind now when you were talking about connection with Germany. I think not many people know, Prakashji, you have connection with Germany. Would you like to talk about it for our viewers and listeners here?
Well, in the very beginning, when I was still making documentaries, I had friends in Germany, France, and I had a very dear friend in Ratingen, pretty close to Dusseldorf. And I traveled, do you know one thing, that in the 70s, the Indians did not require a visa for traveling to Germany.
Wow, didn't know that.
That's news.
Did not require a visa. There was a treaty between India and Germany. I flew down to Germany, like, I decided in the morning, I flew down in the night. I landed in Frankfurt. And from Frankfurt, I spent the night there. The first night that I spent in Frankfurt, I came to the
No, you're gone, Prakash.
Yeah, but that was the interesting part. I was really hooked onto that story there, because Frankfurt came in there.
Yeah, you're back.
Now you are back. So we lost you at the point where you were mentioning you were in Frankfurt.
I came to Frankfurt, and then from Frankfurt airport, I took a train to come to the main station. They call Frankfurt Main, the main station.
Yeah.
And I spent the night traveling in the streets, the red light areas. And it was amazing. Like, I was like zapped completely, seeing those buildings and those shops and those, the clean kind of city. Next morning, and the train from Frankfurt to Dusseldorf, it goes with the river, right?
Yes.
It's amazing. The whole journey is amazing. I loved it. So I that's how I reached there, and I could speak a bit of German then. I forgotten most of it now. And I made my way, and I lived with them. I joined an independent documentary filmmaking unit from Dusseldorf. We used to do a few things there, and also I used to travel in Europe from Germany to Brussels to Paris. So those were the days. I lived there in that area for about 2 years, and then again came back to India to do documentaries. That's how I'm connected.
Yeah.
So in Düsseldorf, I also did my first steps in the movie business. It was I had a work with Michael Karen. He was also from Düsseldorf, and He was a young director at that time, and we made a little advertising kind of movie where we had to go to Portugal and to some European places to promote the idea of student exchange. You know, that was the that what was it about. Okay, Prakash, thank you so much for taking your time. It was really a great pleasure to have you here for this exclusive live talk. And we hope we press thumbs that we get your visa for the opening of Indo-German Film Week, and that we can say a personal hello to each other, and that you present the film yourself on the 24th. Just to the timings, the screening itself will happen on the 24th at 7:30 p.m. After a short ceremony with some cultural program, which will be the opening of our Indo-German Film Week, and then we will have a full week of Indian films. We have in total 24 films, and Pariksha is one of the most important ones because it's the opening film, and I think people will love the film, but yeah, you will get the reaction. And I myself, I had also to cry not after, but during the movie when Adil Hussain was really in that deep trouble which he got in. But we won't reveal too much, so people have to see the film, have to watch the movie. We say thank you for today, Raman.
Yeah.
Also from your side, I guess.
Yes. Thank you, Prakash ji. It's a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you, Stephen. Thank you, Raman, and such a pleasure. I hope you all are well and safe, and long live Indo-German friendship.
Yeah,
Thank you.
definitely. We have to fight for a time where we don't need a visa to travel from India to Germany. So we will fight for that. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. See you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you,
Stay
Stefan.
safe and stay healthy.
Bye.
Bye.
Radio अपना friend फहद